Hey everybody, we are back. It's 1,000 degrees out here, but not a better day to go buy the numbers than today, so let's do it. All right, everybody, we are out here, Scott Hogan here at Stony Creek Golf Course in Oak Lawn, Illinois. This is where I teach out of. Having a very good week with our junior camps, and then time to look at some numbers with the driver that were sent in by you, the subscribers of the channel. So if you want to have your numbers looked at, any launch monitor, head over to Instagram, send them over there. That's the easiest way to get them to me, and I will take a look and we'll talk about them, give you some suggestions on how you can improve your numbers. So today's numbers were sent in by, I don't even know how to say this, but wizard emoji 0 degree sign. So whatever that is, thank you for sending in these driver numbers that you have here. And so let's take a look at those numbers real quick, because these are actually some good numbers to look at, I think, because these are going to be common problems that I see from people as they are working on the driver. And so when we look at his ball flight, the big thing that I see is, first thing is, we have a pretty consistent fade bias as we're going through this. The other thing I see is, as we're going through, you know, for our club speed, smash isn't too bad, but what ends up happening is we're getting a fairly high number of spins where it's like 3,400, 5,000, stuff like that. And so what I want to do is start looking at angle of attack, okay? And so I go over to those numbers, and what we see here is we've got negative angle of attack numbers, you know, negative 5.5, negative 2, negative, anything negative when we are hitting the driver, that's going to cause us some issues when we go to hit that club. And that's because when we go to hit the driver, if you're hitting down at it, a couple of things, because that ball is teed up, it's hard to hit the middle of the face. A lot of times you go under it. The other thing is, what's going to happen is you're going to start putting more spin on the golf ball, so it's easier for it to go sideways. It's also going to cut off some of your distance. And then lastly, a lot of times when you're chopping down more towards the ground, sometimes you're not going to get as much speed as you want as you go. And then even the last thing is, when you're hitting down at it, that does promote more of a fade motion to that golf ball. So let's talk about it a little bit. We're a good day to do it. I've got my brand new driver. I'm going to talk more about this in another video, but let's kind of think about what's going on in this swing that's given us those negative angle of attack numbers. So the first thing I think about is, when we're going through the swing, is where is the ball position with the driver? And this is usually a big one. What I typically see is people have that driver too far back. You know, they kind of play it maybe where they play like their 7-iron, their wedges, stuff like that. And the more you put the ball back into your stance, the more downward you're going to be hitting at the golf ball. So you got to remember is, if you're, you know, like a lot of people, when I see them chunking irons and stuff where they're hitting like and chopping down, I like to see them actually move the ball forward, because that starts moving and leveling out your angle of attack. And if we get to the driver, I really like to see that ball, you know, really like left armpit, seeing that ball up there, and then getting that stance nice and wide behind it. So that promotes, as we're coming in on the swing, that we're going to be catching the ball more on the way up, okay? So that's one of the first things that I like to do. Now, the second thing that I like to do is I like to do a little bit of a drill to help people work on their motion, to help them hit up on it more. And so what we do is we do this drill where we actually go, and we call it the low to high drill. So if I go back, I'm actually going to put the club on the ground, okay? We're gonna put the club all the way on the ground, and then I'm going to drag it up high over the golf ball, okay? What that's going to do is that helps people start to see, when they bring the club back with the driver, we have to get the club lower so it can then be approaching on the way up into the golf ball. So you have to get the club lower so you can come up into the ball. Now you don't have to get it super low with like your irons per se, but that's because you're trying to hit down into the ball. So we want to have that feeling that we are going to get that club down and work our way up into the golf ball. So doing that drag drill is a great drill to do. The other thing I like to do is, I've got my ball teed up. I'm gonna take a second tee, And I'm gonna put it about a club head in front of the ball and tee it up about the same height as what I have currently there, maybe just a touch lower. We are going to then make swings, and what I like for people to do is see if they can make swings where they do not hit this tee that we put in front. If they do that, that encourages us to hit more up on the golf ball. So let's take a look at our numbers, okay? So getting upward on that drive, that's gonna be good, okay? So we like to see those numbers start pushing up as we go, okay? So it's nice that we're able to put a little bit of this angle of attack on the ball that hits up on it, okay? Now, the other thing that'll start happening is if we're trying to get that angle of attack to go up a little more, the other thing I would do is just work on really swinging in to out at the ball. So it kind of goes with what we are doing, but when I bring that club down low, I really like to feel like the club is more behind me, so I swing more out. When you start swinging out at the ball, that's when you actually start swinging more up. So that's where it can get a little bit troublesome for people, you know, that are trying to hit down at the ball. That's gonna automatically make you feel like you are swinging more to the left, or, you know, cutting across it outside in for, you know, you slicers out there. So we wanna get that feeling, you know, so if I've got the tee in front of me, I wanna really get that feeling of low and swinging out to the right side of that tee. And that really helps me hit up on it. You can see that tee is safely there, ball is launched, we are gonna be in good shape. By doing these things, what happens is you actually bring down your spin, means you can hit it farther, you hit it more in the center of the face, which is obviously good, and that's gonna give you more control. You're also gonna start getting rid of those slice tendencies as you go through and do this. So hitting down on the driver, that's a big no-no. We don't like to do that. We see pros, they're hitting 4, 5, 6 degrees up. That's how they launch it, get low spin, and then be able to control where that golf ball's going. So again, thank you for the submission. I'm just gonna call you Wizard Hat. Thank you for that. And if you wanna send in your numbers, make sure you head over to Instagram, make sure you send them in. We'd love to take a look, help you out, help other people out here on the channel. So if you have any questions about it, please comment down below. And as always, click that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber already. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.